Hello, my friends. Lately, I have been talking to you about the purpose of life, a very important topic because if you don't know the purpose, what are you doing and how are you doing it? So, today I am going to touch upon that, but I'm also going to talk to you about a topic that my friends have asked me to discuss with you, which is how do you spend time with God? Now, for this, I think you need to know some of the purpose of life. And as I said, I've done other recordings so you can look for those. But I also want to give you my premise, which is coming from me, and I can see things a little better than you can. So you can take my premise as you choose. My premise that you are God. If God is one, then you must be a piece of God. You can tell me you are independent of God. And I'm not going to entirely disagree, but I'm going to tell you, you have no idea what puppet strings connect you to God. So I'm going to tell you, you are God and a part of God. So the question is more accurately, how do you spend time with or talk with, connect with the, you can certainly say, higher vibrating aspects of yourself that you call God? You can say your source, but again, I say that you are your source. You are that God because you are a piece, a reflection, whatever you want to phrase it as. So, how do you connect with that part? How do you connect with yourself? With the parts of yourself that are more cosmic, that are larger, that are more aware? Well, this is easy and it requires a significant shift for you in order for you to easily do it. I'm going to say that it is a little bit like growing up and all of a sudden seeing things totally differently and saying, I don't think there's a Santa Claus. At some point, you wake up and you realize that you are Santa Claus. I've done a recording on that before as well. The shift means that you perceive things differently. Well, the same is going to be true when you want to connect to these parts of yourself that you call God. One thing you're going to need, I'm going to say, is to make a choice that you're going to connect with, talk with, spend time with this part of yourself. But my friend that is this body, she says, Mr. Zazoo, when you say choose it, in the past I would be like, I choose it, and nothing would happen. So I am going to put it to you this way. Decide that you are a person who connects with God. Perhaps you used to be someone who did not. Decide, identify yourself, become a person who connects with and talks with God. There's this one again. She's a little delicate today after her experience. So you make that decision and it becomes who you are. Just like when you, for example, got out of school, you were no longer a student. You are now someone who does something else. And that doesn't really change. You might still continue to learn, but when you finish school, you have a shift. You are now supposed to be an adult that takes care of themselves, that has a job. Think of it that way, in that sort of, I'm changing lanes, I'm changing plans, I'm changing who I am. I am now someone who communes with God. Now, to do that, some of the things that you want to do are going to be some things you have heard many times before, such as tap into gratitude. So, when you look around at life and you appreciate, so to speak, what the Creator has created, you let yourself choose to see more divinity. If you want to commune with the Creator, you are going to have to at least meet Him halfway. Why do I say Him? Because the Creator is an assertive force relative to your receptivity to God, which would put you in a feminine flow and put the Creator in a masculine flow, which is called Him. I'm not going to say more about that because it is off topic. So, when you meet Him halfway, it means that you are going to be willing to speak His language, so to speak. His language is so much greater and vaster than your language limitations, thought limitations, that you're going to have to raise your bar some. Gratitude is a great way to start in that direction. When you find something and you love it and you find the divinity in it, whether it is nature, whether it is an animal, whether it is the sky, whether it is outer space, it does not matter. Your ability to find that spark of life in it, that spark of divinity, is your ability to start to speak a different language, so to speak, the universal language. When you spend time in this way, you are going to start to have conversations that are nonverbal. This often happens to humans when they go hiking in the mountains, when they do things out in nature. They start to do this dance with nature. I'm going to go this way, and then nature sort of gives them this idea and they sort of adjust, and there's this dance that occurs. I'm going to go for a walk. Which path should I take? Or what I see on the path. All of these things, they are a part of those puppet strings. And so the more you are appreciating the puppet strings that you are not aware of, the more you are going to start to connect with them. And as you do, you're going to change your ability to talk with your guides. Most people talk non-verbally, but it is a communication, so they use the word talk. You're going to hear them, same thing. You're going to start to have this dance, a feeling, a sensation, and it goes back and forth. And that is when you are going to start to spend time with God, hear God, commune with God. For it, my friends, you have to realize probably the most important part of what I'm going to talk to you about today, and that is God. His divinity is perfection. God extended Himself into Himself to make the creation, and at those levels of creation, there isn't lower vibrating frequencies. Humanity has the ability to alter the frequencies into lower vibrations. This means that God doesn't speak drama. So if you go to God and you say, oh God, please, 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 I have this, that, and this problem, those energies, try saying them out in nature. You will find that they don't carry. You will find that not only do they not carry, they don't hold water, so to speak. If you go out into nature and you see a beautiful flower and you serenade the flower, you might feel that dance, that energy I've been talking to you about, back from the flower. The flower might say, how gracious of you to notice, but not with words. The flower might say, aren't you beautiful too? If you go out in nature and say to the flower, my friend did this, my lover did that, my boss did that, the flower may not physically close up and shut you down, but it certainly will energetically. Nobody, no thing, no creature wants to be rained on with that parade. If it won't exist in nature, God won't hear it. So, my friends, come from gratitude because it is up there with love, joy, appreciation, admiration, coloration, creativity, getting inspired, getting ideas, dreaming, daydreaming. Some of these things can carry you far, very far in your communion with God. Just leave the drama for the experts that make your entertainment, your shows, your movies. You will be so much happier that way, and your ability to commune will go so much further. A great question, my friends, great question, and one that you should dedicate your life to. As I said, that choice means changing your identification. And if you do, you're going to enhance your experience and your relationship with yourself that you call God. Until next time, my friends.